Live. So then we were looking at Fortress Cape Town being breached. It finally has been breached. We were a little iffy about it, let's say, because none of us were like, okay, it's a 95-100% India win from here. Yes, India did have their noses in front when we had that lunch come end of innings break just about an hour back or so. But the Indian team, at the loss of 3 wickets, getting to the target, scoring an extra run, in fact, and jubilation in the Indian camp now as a result. The first Asian team, by the way, to win a test match at Newlands in Cape Town. Nobody else has ever done that. Even in 2019, when you had Sri Lanka go there and become the first Asian team to win a test series, even they didn't win in Cape Town. But the Indian team scripting a bit of history over there.
1-0 they won, na, Sri Lanka? I think Durban is that
I think it was Durban, yeah.
Where that Kusal played that 100,
Which
137.
Maverick knock. It's that knock that was played after
Mendes.
that of Ben Stokes. The same summer.
Same year.
Same summer.
He got the best test knock of the year in ICC award.
And
they won the series. But having said that, India are yet to win a series. Sri Lanka
India are yet to win a series.
You have won in Cape Town. You went with the purpose of conquering the final frontier. You have only breached the Cape Town fortress. So it's a
bittersweet.
No, it's a you won a battle, but not the war. So you won today's battle, the Battle of Cape Town. You won, but not the war overall. Your purpose is to go and win a series.
But at least you don't come back crestfallen and your shoulders down.
No, but I don't look at like. I mean, that's the difference. Australian team, when they would come to India, it's not about drawing a series.
Agreed.
It's about winning a series at the end of the. But having said that, look at India's tours to South Africa, and I saw all of them. 92 you lost badly, then 98 you went again. 96 you lost again. 96, 97. The only good bit of that series was that 169 that Sachin Tendulkar got at, might add, same ground. 100 Azhar got that partnership. One of the best test knocks that you'll ever see. If you haven't seen it, Google it. Sachin Tendulkar, 96-97 tour.
Another Sachin knock, famous knock at Cape Town. His 51st, his last test 100 was also here.
Yeah, but I'm saying the circumstances, the attack, where India were, I think they were some 60 something for 5, and he gets 169. And I think he got to his 100 in those days in Cape Town, if I'm not mistaken. That's why I think in 110 balls.
That's mad. That's a T20 knock by modern day standards.
It's like crazy knock.
That's a T20
and there's
knock.
Donald and there's Pollock and all of them, and he's Klusner and he's hammering
He's whacking them all.
And if you, that's what I'm saying, aesthetically, look at those cover drives, those punches. If you can see it on YouTube, please check that out. 169 by Sachin Tendulkar.
Can think of a few people who might have uploaded those highlights.
Oh, more than a few. Many.
Oh, one in particular who's very notorious.
Acha?
Yeah.
Huh? Who's that?
Roblinda.
No, but many would have. This is a. See, that is the place you go to for any footage that you're looking for, which is rare also. This is going to be
not rare.
Yeah, this will be like there. There'll be about 7-8 clips for sure. I'm 100%. If not on YouTube, maybe on Twitter or wherever you'll find.
Facebook, whatever.
100%. So do check that knockout. Anyway, that series you lost. Then from there on, next was 2001-2. You lost. 2006, so I covered my first thing. You won the first test match, Joburg. Then lost the next 2, Durban and Cape Town. Same. 10-11 is when you drew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you lost again in 15.
Then
lost
17,
again
18,
in 18, 17,
22.
18.
21-22.
21-22 after again winning the first test match in Centurion. Then you lost that series. And now, so overall, if you look at all of India's tours, I think I've counted 7 of them, if I'm not mistaken. This is only the second time India have gone and drawn a series. So in that regard, I think it's massive. And I think it's a day then to celebrate for Indian cricket that you've gone to South Africa and you've drawn a series there. But as I said, you pride yourself in going to win a series. But you know what will change now? And again, unlike a lot of folks that are divided between the TNs, they're Rohit TNs and Virat TNs, and each of them wait for an opportunity to pounce at each other. So after India lost that first test match, one group had like
Gone after
Rohit Sharma, can't do anything. But now, if you look at it, he's become only the second captain to draw a test series in South Africa.
Now the other TNs have a thing to get back.
They'll get back. Both are wrong, whichever way you look at it. This way, that way, both are wrong. But if that is how the rivalry happens between the two TNs, then it will continue at least for a day or two.
if not longer.
If
There's
not
more
longer.
fuel.
Yes, there is.
One set of TNs have more armory now.
But they were at the receiving end some
They
days
were at
back.
the receiving end. Yes.
So now they
2 days.
now
They
have
probably
a
would
chance.
have thought that they would needed at least 3-4 days to get back. They got back easily about a day or two earlier.
But this test match reminds me that 2024 has started on a very good note for me personally. And so this year I'm definitely buying a lottery ticket. Because all of my predictions have been right. From India having to bat again, second time on day one, to, the test match will get over between lunch and tea, to giving India 85% chance of winning compared to 15 for South Africa. And most importantly, when we were picking who's number 4 if there are 4 batters, I went with the guy who's top scorer. Top scorer for the Indian team, Yashasvi Jaiswal. If only I had known, I would have gone and bought myself a lottery ticket. But lottery is not legal here in the state that I live. But in the states that I was a few days ago, lottery was legal.
You should have bought one there.
I should have, man. That's why damn it. Should have bought, it was in the northeast.
Yeah.
It's allowed,
Yeah. States have their own lottery.
Yeah.
A massive prize money.
Well, it would be massive, I'm sure.
And I could see like lots of stalls now where they keep buying those tickets. Next time. But by the time the luck would run out.
Like may have run out.
Could have, got one with the number 55 in it towards the end.
55. India reaching 80 with 3 wickets lost. I must say that the one thing that I was not really happy about was the approach, because I was telling you this way Yashasvi is batting, I'm getting the jitters. But I think India probably decided in that mid innings that listen, no point hanging about. There will be that one ball that will have your name on it. So let's go attacking. And we attack. And you lost 3 wickets. Could have been very well 4 if Dizorzi hadn't dropped a dolly of Rohit Sharma that came straight into his hands and he dropped
Which
it.
he had to be convinced to go for.
Yeah.
It was he didn't want to go for it. He was hoping Jansen goes for it. Then Rabada is screaming bloody murder at him.
Makram also was like, it's yours.
Everyone is telling him. Everyone is convinced
he wasn't
it's his,
prepared for it
except for Tony Dizorzi.
Yeah.
That's why he dropped it.
Because he wasn't in position. It went high. If you're standing still, you're taking those 10 times out of 10 if you're a pro. But he was moving.
Also, if you don't want it, in his case, he didn't want it, which is why this has happened. Okay, so this is the shortest match ever in the history of test matches in terms of delivery bowled. 642 deliveries bowled.
Again, look at the more time. That's 92 years difference.
Yes, the last time was 1932, 656 deliveries. And this is 672 in 1935.
So you've basically gone nearly 100 years without seeing tests this short. Tests are coming full circle now.
Wow.
That is an incredible stat. So about 100 years later, you're seeing a test match that's lasted as 600 odd balls. But the most incredible stat about this test match has to be that this is the shortest test match in the history of the sport. That I think is incredible. We have just witnessed history. And these days, like these, are very, very rare.
Yeah.
When do you see, you can live a lifetime and not see something like this?
So incredible.
For a sport that's been on for 200 odd years, to have the shortest test match played. So you're lucky to be alive. You're lucky to have watched this test match, whether you were at the ground or on TV. And this is something that, is a moment that you'll never forget. Right? In cricket, we keep discussing matches, move on. This probably would be a moment you'll never forget. The shortest test match in the history of the sport, ladies and gentlemen. 600 and... Completed, obviously. Dangerous pitches, test matches, finish in 5 balls.
When I was checking that, there's a match that was called off after 10.1 overs.
Yeah, but because of dangerous pitch.
Yeah. It went into second innings and then also it took them 10 odd overs.
10 overs second.
No, but that's dangerous.
That's next level dangerous.
That's got nothing to do with the...
If you're into the third innings of a test with 10 overs played, yeah, probably shouldn't be playing there. No.
Can I call it 2-day, 1 day?
You can call it 1 day.
You can call it the TDI, 2-day international.
It is a 1.25 day test match.
So we have a new
So
format.
you could actually say, it was Cricket South Africa's wish to not have the third test match and have 3 ODIs instead. And guess what? The Almighty heard them, said, okay, don't worry. I won't even give you the second test match. You can have 4 ODIs.
Yeah.
So you effectively had 4 ODIs. This is just a few more overs beyond an
Second
ODI.
innings was a virtual T20 game, was it? How many overs did they play?
Yeah, 12 overs.
12
80
overs for
runs.
India. South Africa, how many did they last?
24, 25?
So they went over 20.
No, they went about 30 odd overs. If I'm
No,
not
so you've not
mistaken.
done 100 overs, right?
No,
I think second innings came now.
I am saying, so this is a 1 day only, na?
Yeah,
1
one
day
day.
is 100 overs.
Yeah.
You've not done 100 overs here.
with 632 balls, you would have done 100 overs.
Just
Just
little
over.
bit, just little bit.
So 105 overs basically is what you've gone. 105.2. That's it. Forget about it.
1 day match.
That's a 1 day match. That's an old school 1 day match. 120. So you take 60 overs, 120 overs. You've gone 105.
So as I said, cricket South Africa, be careful of what you wish for. You wished for 3 ODIs instead of a test match, and God said, okay, you will get 4 ODIs.
they can
and
play
one
a
less
third test.
test
They
now.
can play a third test here
But
also.
that's a pity. I mean, I'd love to know from all of you. We are sitting here where it's such an exciting series. The first test match won by one team. The second, the touring team makes a comeback, fights it out and wins a test match. 1-1, all to play for. Imagine if you had a third test.
There's no rubber match. That's such a pity. No, I'm telling you, please, take today's gap. Let's tell them come back tomorrow, start a third test. You put 3 more days of test left, broadcasters will be happy. Go for it. Play a third test.
Should have been a third test there.
Could have been a third test. You could have eliminated all 3 ODIs and played a third test. Maybe even a fourth test. I don't know.
They didn't want it now.
Oh, clearly they didn't want it.
They had asked for it. I mean, how much cricket South Africa likes test cricket is pretty evident from the fact that they're sending a BC, whatever team you look at it, to New Zealand.
In a WTC cycle.
So it tells you how serious they are about this
They
particular
clearly don't
format.
want to be in the World Test Championship final.
See, again, I mean, because what you are trying to establish a T20 league, which was a non-starter for them earlier.
For two
So they
failures.
started, twice, and it did not work out. So I guess they've put all their eggs in one basket now and saying, listen, this is probably the last time they're attempting to do it. The future of our cricket financially may be dependent on this, because if you like, while the game is flourishing in India and to an extent in England and Australia, as well as, I mean, there is interest, whether financially they may not be that much on offer in Pakistan and Bangladesh, but the interest levels are high, right? So it's still a sport that people aspire to play. But in South Africa, it's not the case. If you see the popularity of the sport in South Africa, it's dipped a lot. It's no more in the top level sport. Not too many people playing this sport. Not too many new, markets or sections of society that are coming into the sport. So it's a sport that's dying in South Africa. So I think what they've done is, like, the only way that they can revive it is by pumping in some money, and the money then probably they've realized is the only way money coming in is through sponsors, and sponsors are only interested in T20, and so we need to have a robust local T20 league whereby, and then they got lucky with all Indian companies or Indian IPL franchises buying there, so at least they'll have that
Stability,
amount
let's
of money to buy players and keep that standard that high. From there on, it's a South African market, and South Africa would also want to tap into the Indian market, because as soon as you have some big players, there'll be Indian companies happy to sponsor, because there is a lot of appetite for Indians to be watching cricket, even if it's overseas league. So I think that's what they're looking at, and if that means sacrificing Test cricket is one thing, then I think so be it, and that's what they've done.
Also, to add to your point, I just remembered one of the key reasons why they're betting so big on SA20 is that the last 2 attempts they had of starting a league, one which didn't get off the ground, then the other was that Mzansi Super League, which I think lasted 2 seasons. Both of those times, the money which was pumped into that league was pumped in by Cricket South Africa. So they're skint, to put it politely. They don't really have the money to be investing. This time around, SA20 is pretty much being bankrolled by who? Supersport.
Yeah.
So if the TV company it has a stake in the league, has its best interests at heart, because they're putting their own money and they'd want to be making that back, then they're going to go all out to ensure that come what may, the prime market time is dominated by SA20. Test matches be damned at that point. It doesn't get them an audience.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but also it's in tune with reality.
Yeah.
What do you do? It's a tough situation, and I think they had to make a call. For us, sitting on the outside, sometimes it's easy to criticize. But because we're not running the sport, we are not the ones managing the balance sheet. I think the people there then realize, how do you pay off players' salary? How do you ensure that you have enough money for paying coaches and support staff? Also pumping enough money at the grassroots level, which does not give you any return, but that's money you're investing in the structure.
Correct.
That's also not easy. So all of that is there, which is why they've clearly put Test cricket aside. Much to our dismay, as we said, we made it very clear, would have loved to have seen a third Test match, especially where the series is standing at the moment. Meanwhile, there is an update, because we debated about it, who should be the man of the match after 3 very good performances. It's gone to Mohammad Siraj, as most had picked. It was also going to be dependent on which team was to win the match. Had South Africa gone on to win this match, I'm 100% sure that this would have gone to Adam Markram for sure for that 100. I still believe the standard. I'm not grudging Siraj. I think he deserves the man of the match. If it had gone to Siraj or Bumrah, whatever, but I think Siraj deserves it because of the way he set that Test match, and his spell was outstanding. Completely agree. But I'm saying that if you ask me the standout performance of this match, I'll still go with an Adam Markram. This is a match where batting was next to impossible for every batter. His team, the second highest score is 12. For the opposition team, the highest score is 40 odd that Virat got in the first innings. And in all of that situation, one man gets 100. By far the standout performance of the match. Head and shoulders above everyone else. But then he ends up on the losing side. So I think that makes a big difference. You had to give it to somebody who was on the winning side. But Mohammad Siraj, well done, yeah. Questions were asked of him as well.
After the last test, I think he wasn't great. Last match, it was Bumrah on hauling the entire bowling attack. No one else stepped up. This time around, he found his rhythm, and as he himself admitted, he said in the post-match, he said, look, my problem at Centurion was I wasn't able to hit one length consistently.
Correct.
He's saying, here I picked it up and kept doing that.
That's what he said after yesterday's inspired spell, that, I was making those errors and I knew that from the word go, I could find the right lens to begin with, and I wasn't getting that in Centurion. So once I got it, I was absolutely going to stick to it, and he got rewarded.
Well, I thought that, that's the learning, and which is why Jasprit Bumrah is outstanding. Today, even with Bumrah, I saw him change his length. What he did not do in the first innings, I think Bumrah was a bit fuller first innings. What he did this morning, just pulled it back a bit. From there on, he's unplayable. And he was on the money from the word go. Like from the first delivery that he bowled today. Second, he almost got a wicket. Lucky that went flying over the slip cordon. Otherwise, it would have been wicket the second
very
ball.
Interesting. Bumrah, the clever bowler that he is, we sort of tend to ignore that at times, and we just sort of remember Bumrah being that bowler who can bowl those Yorkers and all, but he's such a clever bowler, because if you look at that wicket of Bedingham, which was I think the first wicket to fall on the day, the first 2 balls that he bowled to him were rather short, which Bedingham left. Third, he bowled a little up, which he tried to nudge at, and it missed it outside. The next one, he bowled a little further, matter of centimeters to the left and front on, gets the edge. So again, the way that he plays with the mind of the batter as well, it's just so underrated at times and undervalued, because he's so much more than a bowler who just bowls those yorkers and is very, very precise in terms of his deliveries. But the way that he really sets up batters, again, Shane and I were talking about it earlier in the day, that the way that he had set up Sean Marsh in Australia again, with that slower one right at the brink of lunch, that slower yorker that he bowled, again, that's piece of beauty, the way that the guy, or let's say the dismissal of Mohammad Rizwan in the World Cup, that slower one, nothing was happening, Indian had breakthrough, bowled that slower one, got the top of off, brilliant, yeah. Brilliant.
By the way, the interesting bit, player of the series is a joint player of the series award to Dean Elgar, who got that 160 odd in the first test match, and Jasprit Bumrah. That's an interesting one, but you're right, Bumrah was the standout Indian bowler in the first test match, and joint standout bowler alongside Siraj in the second test match. By the way, one of the figures, I'm just saying what Bumrah is doing, because that was a question that was asked to us when India were about to start their chase as to who would be that one bowler that you'd pick between Shami and Bumrah if you're picking an all-time team. And I think all of us agreed on Jasprit Bumrah. Just looking at his figures, this is his 8th 5-wicket haul. Okay?
Ninth
5-wicket haul.
I think I heard 9th on com.
Yeah, it was 9th, it was written on screen also. 8 was what was before this match. This was his 9th.
Okay, no, but maybe I think I'm talking about overseas. Sorry, only overseas.
Okay.
So this is just to let you know, this is his 8th 5-wicket, because another thing, Jasprit Bumrah hasn't played a lot of test matches at home. First things first, but this is his 8th 5-wicket haul in overseas test matches, and he's now one behind the all-time Indian record held by Kapil Dev, who we all know is like a legend, with 9. Wow. But you don't want to know the difference is, Kapil Dev played matches? 45 test matches overseas. 45 test matches. Bumrah has played 28.
Look at that gap.
That's impact. That's impact.
I mean, slightly more than a half, but almost about half. And he's at 8 5-wickets haul. So he will end up, I mean, injury free, fingers crossed, end up as most 5-wicket haul overseas. I'm just saying, you will only realize how big Bumrah as a bowler is by the time he retires or hangs his boot, because I'm talking about the Kapil Dev, the great Kapil Dev.
Bumrah again might just go down in that category we were talking about yesterday. Again, maybe not the most wickets, the most this, the most 5-fers, the most 10-fers.
He will.
In this aspect, I'm saying overall numbers, when you look at, when people, younger generation, when you look at most runs scored, most wickets taken by an Indian, he will not be there in the most wickets. But again, it's these, it's these precise stats.
No, but his averages, strike rate would be massive.
Exactly.
It would be untouchable.
Untouchable, I agree.
And in fact, I think he'll have a similar kind of impact like incidentally his mentor Lasat Malinga. Same, no one knew how much you'd miss a Malinga till you didn't have Malinga.
But I think he'll go a step further, because Malinga did not have that kind of impact in test cricket as much as Jasprit Bumrah is going to have for you. And again, the other day I said what makes Virat Kohli so special is the fact that when you compare him to all other batters, one will be good in one sort of format, not the other. Even I'm taking Rohit Sharma into account, who's on occasion been very good in test, but his white ball form dips. When he's very good in white ball, his test form dips. So very few, and we looked at globally, very few all format batters who can do well, and in that Virat is ahead. And I think if you look at it in bowlers also, to be this good across formats, I mean, even in T20 cricket he's a match winner. In ODI cricket he's a match winner.
And test.
And in test matches too. So
actually, in fact, as far as bowlers go, I dare say he'd probably be the only one. Who really in the current batch? You'd say Rabada to an extent, but his white ball form has been very hit or miss in recent times. Consistency he's lacked. Other than that, again, who? Do you think of those? Cummins? No, Cummins is a white ball bowler. Yeah. No. Yeah. Not as a T20 bowler. T20 bowler, he leaks runs. Cummins is closest. Stark would be the closest, but again, how much white ball has he played in terms of...
Even in ODIs, Cummins' form has been patchy.
Yeah.
Like look at the World Cup. Didn't start out that well. It's just towards the end that
he found some form, and his captaincy, I think, is what pulled him through. Same with, I think, Stark would be the next closest. But again, Stark is one of those bowlers who consciously opted out of T20 leagues So
Yeah.
again,
I think Bumrah.
closest would be Stark. Closest.
I mean,
That's it.
A Jofra Archer when he was completely fit was one of
Archer,
that.
but I think Archer's career seems
But
done
he
now.
was that at that one point where he was really firing.
18-19.
And
89,
but the
yeah.
thing with that was that while he had similar impact like Jaiswal we were talking about, that span was very short.
Yeah.
To have been like another one who could be in that category could be a Noke when fit. But again, that time
Consistency.
frames is very narrow, very short. So really can't take into account all of that. So yeah, right. Just
There's no one. There's absolutely no one. Even if you look at the English bowlers, you'll see most of them are one format grades.
Yeah.
Or two.
What did the second innings tell you about India's batting?
That they do better with no pressure.
No, it left me with a lot of doubts. Again Shubman Gill. Yeah. Again Shreyas Iyer, he's not out, but he looked the most uncomfortable
That
in
one
those
bouncer,
few
that one
deliveries that he faced at that time. Looked like the most uncomfortable. Not one, I think there were a few bouncers that Jansen, as soon as he saw him, peppered him with. He was all at sea. He hit that winning run because you can't be bowling all bouncers. And so the one that was pitched up, he went for it and got that. But overall, if you take a look at, it was if India had lost those many wickets, Virat got out, if Rohit's catch was taken, you're chasing 150, you're panicking.
You're done. You're not even
Then
panicking,
you
you're
would have
done.
had this kind of approach. Then you would have been much more
but
circumspect.
who
because-
got out for that approach other than Yashasvi Jaiswal?
Exactly.
No one got out for that approach.
But Virat, again, because unusual stroke play you saw from Virat and Rohit. Because
But I'm
Virat,
saying-
how often do you see Virat
I'm
bouncing
not-
down the track, going for
I'm-
that slash?
But I will not blame Virat because, as I said, he is one of the most consistent batters you have. But let's say he had an off day, like today, got unlucky, one down the leg side. Let's say, what are you doing? You need to rely on a Shubman because that goes back to that comment that Janaki had put earlier.
4 wickets.
That you are chasing 79 with 4 wickets. Pretty much. Today, if the Rohit catch is taken, similar situation, and not 79, but you're chasing 149.
No, then you can't be playing like this.
Playing,
can't.
but
Never mind playing
It's
like
not
this.
about playing.
You don't have batting.
Out.
You don't have batting.
You've gotten out. You've gotten out. It's not that you play, no matter how you play it, you would have gotten out. Which is why I'm saying that if Virat does not fire, if a KL does not fire, those ones that you rely on, and I'd still go with Yashasvi because I said that he has it in him to bat long. But Shubman Gill, once again, opportunity for him to finish the game. Did not, and that T20 sort of coming into his test match game is something that he needs to sit and think about and needs to work on.
Because it's the 7th month now as we look at it.
And not just that, I remember when Gill first broke onto the scene, many people said, don't know about his white ball career, but there's a red ball batter in there somewhere.
He was.
It's lost.
I completely agree.
Yeah, it's lost now. I just see him going for that, and see, because he's such a technically correct batter, and this is one thing, this misnomer that a lot of fans have, that if he's a technically correct batter, he'll not be able to go for shots. I say the opposite's true. If you're a technically correct batter, you have no problem. It's just a mindset flip that you can go for the big shots. Gill has done that in white ball cricket, but now not able to switch back. Red ball is just gone now. Again, one defining knock in a test career that spanned 3 years, 4 years.
Gaba.
That's it. Nothing beyond that. That's worrisome.
And there is only that much you can keep going on with potential backing, like with potential as the buzzword. There has to be something more than potential. And while not all the time that you're looking at numbers, and I'm not a believer in pure numbers, you are a believer in what you see. So I'm saying more than just numbers, what you see with your naked eye. Like for example, many will say, a lot of batters failed. Why are you talking about Shreyas Iyer? Because to the naked eye, it's looking like
dodgy.
he's not there for test matches, especially in Sena countries, in these kind of conditions.
Even with Gill, I think that white ball to red ball transition and how that stroke play is really affecting him right now. The technical aspect very much over there correctly. But then look at this dismissal in Centurion. When Marco Jansen came round the wicket, that's no way of getting out. That's just no way of getting out.
That half volley he basically
Exactly,
made
which
look like
he
a
tried to
yorker.
play on the onside. No, you can't. And he missed it. It was just a matter of him missing the ball. Had you tried playing it, softer hands down the ground or just try to block it there? But again, it's that switch that's not happening because see, It's just too many opportunities being squandered from a Shubman Gill perspective right now. Look what Jaiswal did in West Indies when there were runs on offer, when the tracks were more like, that first test match I remember, a kind of track that West Indies obviously sort of erred by dishing out because it was spinning from day one. But here in India, you're used to those conditions, right? Should have scored runs there. Yashasvi did in both the innings. But across both the matches, didn't step up. He will really have to get his act together over the next couple of months because, again, a bad IPL and I think the daggers are out for him.
Never mind bad IPL, boss. You've got England coming. You've got England coming in January. You're going to be batting him at number 3 on pitches that are going to be lotteries. You need better than that. You need better than that.
Better.
Yep.
You need way better than that. Because again, I think what is happening, I remember reading a Sunil Gavaskar quote about it. There was a shot also up a few days back on it. And he said he's being too aggressive too early. Saying that white ball is there. Yeah. That he's looking to be aggressive. And obviously you get it. In ODIs, T20Is, he's opening. You have to be aggressive from the get-go. He's coming in at number 3 at a point where, in theory, you're probably getting the best batting conditions. The expectation is you're the most classically correct, technically correct batsman. You bat long. He's being aggressive and throwing his wicket away. And that's not going to work against England. Not against 5 spinners who will be, you'll be playing on ranked turners. Let's be honest. Gill does tend to sometimes struggle with that additional turn or too much swing or bounce. Again, this is the white ball. That needs to go.
Let's take a few comments. Before that, just one word for the Indian team, apart from the fact that they've drawn a series in a place that's always been tough, only the second time that they've drawn in South Africa. The fact that I like, because there's a lot of talk about the pitch and we criticize the pitch too, but one thing I must say, that kudos to the Indian team, they've not come out and complained about the pitch. They've said tough conditions, all right, but they sometimes visiting teams come to India and crib about, oh, spinning track, this is not a fair pitch, this and that. I have not heard the Indian team say anything like that. They've accepted the fact they've come to South Africa, you are given what you are given, you play on it. They did not complain in Centurion, they're not complaining even now. I was just reading all the quotes of Siraj and Bumrah, everyone after the match. They've said, fine, whatever it is, I like that attitude. You're saying, okay, because South Africa gave them this kind of pitch. I don't think even South Africa bargained for this. It's pretty much what happened at the at the World Cup final, where India tried to prepare a spin-friendly track or a dry track to help them and put Australia into trouble, and you fell into the ditch that you dug for the opponents. It's something similar that's happened. You prepared a fast track thinking that we'll intimidate India just as we did in the previous test match. The trouble is that you found yourself at the wrong end of the stick. And what I like about India is good attitude, no complaining, saying, fine, whatever it is, let's go.
Even on the part of the media, because let's not forget how certain outlets in Australia, even before the test series had begun, had started to write and speak so much about Nagpur. And they just sort of gave in even before the match started. There's so much being reported about the deck as to parts of it being watered and whatnot. And look, you didn't even fight. The time that you really want to fight it out in Indore, you won, right?
But it's not just the Australian media. Indian media has criticized the Cape Town pitch. We have criticized, yeah. The only difference is they did it before the match started. We started criticizing it after we saw evidence of what has happened.
Plus, there are enough people who will be okay with spinning Indian tracks, but then you get conditions and like, no. At least we can say, listen, I was not a fan of the Indian tracks you got at all. Nagpur was fine, but Delhi, they slowed down, and Indore, less said the better.
Yeah. So, but if I'm critical of Indore, I'm going to be critical of...
But again, the differentiator being that there's no hue and cry about it. There was a hue and cry prior to the match. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And there you psychologically shot yourselves in the foot.
Exactly.
Because you're already thinking, oh, it's going to spin. Yeah. But then you know it's going to spin, bro. That's why you got 3 spinners. And that's why you had 3 spinners. England knows it's going to spin. Why else do you have 5 spinners plus Joe Root? You know what you're getting. So you may as well come prepared for that rather than be like, oh, it seemed too much. Because this was something that was seeming so badly that even the locals were surprised.
So, Tuta hai Gaba ka Ghamand. Now, what will you say for
Newlands ka? What would be the
Cape Town ki chod.
Cape Town ki chod.
Oh God.
Whatever.
I can't come up with anything better. No.
69 वाला
69.
55 or 69.
Maybe one of our subscribers will tell us. Yeah.
Please.
Gaba ka Ghamand, because that was a fortress that India breached. Now they've breached another fortress in Cape Town. What should it be? टूटा है गाबा का घमंड. यहाँ क्या होगा? पिघल गई है केप टाउन की चौड़.
I don't know.
Thank God we aren't commentators.
No, but
We're
they
not
take
Hindi
time.
commentators.
They take time.
Yeah.
We take time. We couldn't come up with something. It's just that we're doing it off the fly right now.
Yeah.
But if you had time,
Sure, we would have come up with something.
either with Newlands or with Cape Town. Yes, was okay. International roaming 319.
Newlands का नया सिकंदर.
No, don't work.
Something like that.
Okay, whatever.
टूटा है गाबा का घमंड. It has to match that, na?
And that was iconic.
Yeah. But it called for something like this is.
But it's a fortress that you breached. Yeah, Ghamand was there because of what the
Tim Payne had
Australians were
said.
saying, especially Payne. Please take
So
it.
International 3191, the code goes MCG 20, Gabba 21, Centurion 22, Oval 21, or Cape Town 24. What's the best then? Oh, very easy.
Gabba 21.
Exactly.
Gabba.
No debate. You not only breached the fortress but won the series while
Series.
doing so
Yeah.
with a severely depleted side.
Side.
Sorry, nothing beats that.
Yeah, Mohammad Siraj.
Was your lead pacer?
He was what, 3 test matches old or 2 test matches old?
Who was your lead spinner? Washington Sundar. Natarajan, who was there purely for being a nets bowler.
And we've not seen him after that.
Doesn't matter, still a legendary test career.
Yeah.
Still a legendary test career.
He was garlanded and what not on his return.
to India, yeah, I remember that.
They all deserved it.
Yeah,
it was richly deserved.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah,
No brainer. Easily picking that. Fit Monk has come up with something. No, he is not. He's retracted.
He's retracted the message.
Okay, he's coming up with a better one. So we're waiting. Okay, let's take.
Siddharth mentions Trent
Yes.
Bolt. Sorry, that was a name I forgot. If you're talking all format bowler.
Good call, Siddharth. Thank you so much. I told you, always trust our subscribers, right?
If Saudi kept coming in my head, but I'm like, no, in white ball he's hit or miss. Can't believe I forgot Bolt.
Yep, okay. Fitmong wants to know, has Mukesh done enough to be the regular part of White's thoughts, everyone? Good point. I think he
Yes.
has.
Yes.
100%. I mean, let's be fair, your bench strength isn't that much. There's no Shami here and you were sweating bullets. So once one of these guys eventually, I mean, Siraj is probably the next leader near future, because with Shami, of course, age is something that's definitely there. Mukesh, yeah, you need to have him around. You need to be grooming him.
I don't want to be harsh on Prasidh. Again, I know he leaked runs, but only playing his second test match. But I'd still put Mukesh now ahead of Prasidh.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm picking the team. So
I know one thing for sure, and the fact that Mukesh can swing the ball a little more, let's say, than the others around him at the moment. He's done enough, let's say, for us to not look back at Umesh Yadav. Time and again, when you're looking at swinging conditions, or you've gone to Umesh Yadav, now you may not need to. And it's time that you reward somebody who's played 40 first-class matches as well, for you to also reinstate the fact and remind everyone that the domestic system still exists and we value it. You must retain him for as long as possible.
Having said that, Umesh, by the way, his record in India, phenomenal. Phenomenal, very underrated.
Yep. Ashish Dar says, what is the status of India in WTC points table? Please let me know when a batsman gets out to a good ball rather than a poor shot.
to be fair, I think in the South African innings, second innings, definitely there were a few
Plenty of bad
instances.
shots.
Yeah.
Plenty of them.
Your Jude Bellingham, sorry, David Bellingham. We keep calling Bellingham. Bellingham got out to a bad shot.
Verena got out to an
Terrible shot.
Marco Janssen.
Leave it. Shivam.
Janssen, then see with Markram, you still understand it got to his 100. It was a lottery at that point.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, actually, no one, even for the Indian innings, really, if you think about it, Kohli's shot, strangled down leg side.
Maybe what Ashish is asking, maybe we can do an explainer on the points table and where it
we'll
is
do
at the
that.
moment. So we'll get that done. Meanwhile, Freaking Awesome's given you a reply. Ashish saying India is at top with 54.16%, but we'll do a detailed one.
Yeah.
KK says, I said earlier that the more Gill plays T20, the more he is going to be vulnerable, and he is proving me again and again. We should also have won this series, but due to formidable captaincy
Of, I'm guessing, Elgar and Temba.
Okay, so Elgar's And Temba's captaincy was very good, is what he said.
In the first test,
Yeah, okay.
it was.
Yeah. But yeah, Gill, I think that's the point that we've also made. Siddharth says Virat Kohli dismissal harming his test average and some more humiliation for Shreyas Iyer. Siddharth, we discussed that also at length. Virat's dismissal as well as Shreyas Iyer, even though few balls, but gives you a glimpse into
The psyche.
Yeah, what we
Where
have
he
in
is.
store for him going forward in Test match cricket. Okay, let's go down now. Take a few. Okay,
I think we have a few taglines there.
That's okay.
I didn't.
हाँ सब रिपीट ही है. के केप टाउन का ताज अब भारत के नाम. No, good try, but
Good. Better attempt than us.
गिर गई है केप टाउन की टोपी. Says no.
Topi.
No.
What topi?
Gaba ka ghamand, they are at something. You have to think about. Think hard. Think a bit more, guys. Come on. I know some of you are very creative. Vansh is saying that
I have
captaincy thing was sarcasm for Rohit.
But then formidable. Oh, that way. Got it.
It was sarcasm. He was
Good
literally saying
one,
that
Vansh.
bad
Thanks.
captaincy in the first test match. Otherwise, we would have won. What's his point? Okay.
Good point.
I have one. Table mountain पे लगा तिरंगा.
But then that is not signifying that.
Newlands?
No.
No, the
Not
fortress.
signifying fortress. Let's say if this is a ground where other teams had also won and India won, even then this is valid. Now, you put it. Gaba Ghamand is telling you that there was an arrogance about no one being able to beat us there, and that's been breached. So that has to also come in the.
But they don't like this, na?
The two things. So this is a breach. Now, no team, Asian team has won.
Correct.
So Cape Town ka that fortress has been breached. So you have to come up with a line that signifies that. This, what you're saying is signifies India winning in Cape Town, but not telling you what is special. Gaba Ghamand is telling you that.
Correct.
It's not an easy task. So take your time, think about it, come up with a good one. Piyush Tandre says, when will India's squad for Afghanistan be announced? What's the inside news for captaincy? Good point, Piyush.
Today?
It could be today. It could be today. It could be today. We'll be on standby, don't worry. Or possible that it comes out tomorrow too. But I have a feeling that it could be today.
Little body telling you.
Yeah, could be today. So, but then you know what the usual time is, na?
9:30.
Yeah, we'll be live.
And you know the destination as well.
Yeah, we'll be live. Captaincy, interesting one. I think what we're getting to hear is Rohit's going to be your captain. But I personally, if you ask me, I'd be a bit surprised that they're wanting to play the Afghanistan T20 guys. But if he's your captain going forward in the T20 World Cup, then you
Must
should.
play.
Yeah. So that's that. But it's interesting times coming up.
Prashant says that Shaheen Shah Afridi and Naseem Shah can be all format bowlers.
Shaheen Shah gets rotated in tests, no?
Yeah.
And Naseem's injured, but I think they have the potential
Point well
to
taken.
be. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do have the potential. Saraj Chandra is saying Cape Town mein karishma. Nahi, but
No, that'll be.
How about Ben Stokes actually? Yeah. All format. Came back for the World Cup.
Fair. Yeah.
no. Batters we're not talking about, no bowlers.
We're talking bowlers now, and we
Ben
counted
Stokes for
Stokes.
batter, I had said yesterday. Again, you're pulling a Harshit now. Harshit being Harshit.
Arshad being Arshad.
Mohit being Harshit. Okay. Siddharth wants to know, what do you make of Steamax ridiculing ISL
Did a video on this.
continuously?
Did a video on this couple of days
I
back.
think it's a bit harsh. I agree
It's
with
political. It's all political. He's angry with the ISL clubs for not releasing the top players during the Asian Games.
Yeah.
He didn't get the practice he wanted, so now he's going out there and saying that no, ISL, the level of ISL is slow compared to international football.
But see, again, I saw that comment, and on the face of it, while I agree that he doesn't need to publicly ridicule the top tier format or the league that India has, he should not be doing. But factually, he's not incorrect. That of course international football.
No, actually, that's why I'm saying international football, generally speaking, is slightly on the slow side as compared to domestic football. Maybe it's different in the
but you're
Asian
looking at
context.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're looking at it in the European context. But I think in the Asian context, because of the team that you would be facing, like you're facing a Qatar or you're facing
Oh, no, your group is tough this time. Australia,
That's
Syria,
So-
Uzbekistan.
So what your Indian players will be exposed to at an international level is just a tier above what you could play at the ISL.
True.
Which is a fact. That's why when I saw that statement, I don't think factually what he's saying is incorrect. But should he be saying this?
It was a case of him having his cake and eating it too.
Yeah.
Not factually
He has an
incorrect.
axe to grind. So
Yeah.
he's
And he's
making
been
full
doing it
use
for a
of
while now. He's not minced his words. He's time and again made these comments.
But I will allow him all of that because I like him as a coach. I think he's done good for Indian football. As to just again
Yeah.
to the naked eye how Indian team is playing, I like it. Asian Cup coming up, and that is something we're going to cover on sports today. And India has a very tough group, as Shane just pointed out.
Terribly tough.
But towards the team's already there. They celebrated the New Year in Qatar. But as soon as their matches start, we'll be bringing you the updates, news updates, as well as match analysis, post-match, definitely, of all India games. So that's that. Anything else?
Cape Town का करिश्मा शरद चंद्र.
No, we already took again. We took it.
Okay. I've
we'll-
reached that zone now.
We'll take your leave. We'll allow Mohit/Harshit to go have some chai, coffee, wake himself up.
Yeah.
For what though?
And we are going to be back. Stay tuned. Press the bell icon because as soon as the team is announced, we're going to be coming back with our analysis. Possible today. If not today, maybe tomorrow. Okay. So, any more we got of those things?
न्यूलैंड्स का नशा.
भारत बना क्या?
Storytelling. Right?
उतर गया है न्यूलैंड्स का नशा. क्या?
I think he means
ढाया है केप टाउन पर कहर. ठीक है, this is a nice one.
That's a good one actually. It reads nicely.
But it doesn't signify. हाँ, न्यूलैंड्स का नशा is a good one. हाँ. उतारा है.
उतर गया है न्यूलैंड्स का नशा.
Yeah, उतारा है न्यूलैंड्स का नशा. That's the best one we've got so far.
Yeah.
That one can go.
This
Storytelling writer because it rhymes also and it kind of
There's an
tells
alliteration
you
there
that
also.
this was a fortress that needed to be breached. So yes, storyteller writer. उतर गया है न्यूलैंड्स का या उतार दिया है न्यूलैंड्स का नशा. That can be good one. Okay. See you. Bye bye. We'll be live whenever the team is going to be announced. For the moment, from Harshit, is it Harshit or Mohit? Who is it?
It's both of them. The alter egos exist.
Shane and myself, as they say in India.
Myself.
Nikhil. This is only Indian
It's a very
English.
Indian thing. It's a very Indian thing.
Indian English.
Like
Like one more. Presently. One more I'll tell you. Hello, this is Nikhil this side.
This side. Yeah.
This side. Like
Well, obviously, you're not going to be telling who's speaking from the other side, are
nowhere
you?
else in the world they say this side. Hello, this is Shane this side.
Yeah.
Another one is, what is your good name?
Good name. Yeah.
Good name. Do you want to know my bad name?
What is your good name? Nobody speaks like that. Nobody speaks this English anywhere
That's
in the
like
world,
just-
but in India.
Shubh Naam converted into
Good
or
name.
an attempt made to convert translate into
This side, Shubh, good name.
Presently.
presently. So many of them.
But it's an endeavor
Even
to
preponed.
preponed. Yeah, there's no
There's
word
not a
like
word.
that. It's
Now,
all-
in fact, now that it got overused, now they've actually included it in the dictionary.
have they?
Yes.
It's okay. Nowadays, I don't take any of those seriously. 1 year, they made the laughing emoji the word of the year. So, it doesn't really matter anymore.
And if I'm not wrong, even the word jugaad has entered the dictionary officially.
Baseball has entered the dictionary now.
Yes.
Jugaad goes a long way off.
Ruining the Queen's English. It's our endeavor
And now it's the King's English, isn't it?
to. It's our endeavor. No, but originally it was Queen's English.
Yeah, true.
So it's an endeavor to, even get you all speaking and listening to the correct way that English needs to be spoken. So that is also something that we try and do via sports today. So if you want to work on that, that's another reason why you should come to our discussions, apart from, of course, cricket and all other sports that we discuss. Okay, let's take one last one. Web of Tarangi. Your honest prediction for India-England Test series. I think it's going to be 3-2 in India's favour. I'm going 3-1. A draw, depending if you get a pitch like that, like an Ahmedabad.
2-1 in India's favour, but I think 2-1 will also be they'll sweat in a couple of occasions.
I'm going 3-1. 3-1.
I'll go 3-0.
3-0. In India's favour, I'm assuming. Okay. Just to be sure. Ashish is saying Cape Town ki दीवार ध्वस्त हो गई. I mean, but okay. But
He's second the fortress wall thing quite literally.
Good try.
Dhwas.
हाँ, Cape Town का किला. Okay. Finally, bye bye, good night, take care. But we'll be back if the team is announced. Vanakkam, Sasyakal, Nandri,
Good night.
Shabba Khair,
Shubh Ratri.
Ram Ram.